So this is what we are going to study is method of mixtures. In the earlier distinguish between heat and temperature, we can also add another point. In that point, temperature is measured using a thermometer and heat is measured using the method of mixtures. So, or using the method of calorimeter. So what is it? Is what we are going to see now. Okay. So a calorimeter is this vessel. So here you can see that there is a copper cup inside. So that is called as a calorimeter. Okay. Now in this calorimeter, it should not lose heat outside to the surrounding. So therefore you have a lid. So the insulating lid prevents the heat loss by convection. Then this copper vessel that is inside is polished. So the heat is not lost due to radiation as well. Plus, there is an insulation over here. Now here it says air insulation. Now you can have those wooden shavings. The carpenter, when they are working, they have those wooden shavings, or you can have any other kind of insulation. You can fill this up over here. Okay. So this is, a brief idea about this calorimeter, which is kept inside this. There is a narrow slit over here. So when you close the lid, still you will be able to insert a thermometer and a stirrer over here. Okay. Now the objective of this experiment, this one experiment that we are going to do, is to find the specific heat capacity of a metal. So with this objective, I'm going to explain you this experiment. Okay, how to find the specific heat capacity of the metal. Fine. So let us take this calorimeter, and as you can see that it is filled with water. So we have water, and this is the copper calorimeter, and the mass of water to be taken as M1, mass of copper to be taken as M2. The temperature, which is the initial temperature, can be called as T1 and T1. Okay, both of them should have the same temperature. So you can have this copper calorimeter, you pour in water and you insert a thermometer and you record the temperature. So this is the initial setup. Okay. So far, do you have any questions?
Some metal as in the cup only, right?
No, another metal. Okay.
So then, okay.
Yeah. Now, what they do in the lab, I hope you are able to see or perform this experiment because the 10th graders do it. In the lab, they keep what is called as a hot water bath. Okay, hot water bath. So in this, this is filled with water, and there are these slotted weights. Okay, like say 50-gram metal pieces are there, and they have been heated. There is a thermometer over here that can tell you what is the temperature. So around temperature 80 degree or something, which is hot enough. So what we do is we will go with this, in your hand to a place where this is heated, and with the help of a tong, the metal piece is picked up and it is dropped in this water, and then you shut the lid. Okay, so this metal piece has a mass M3. Okay, has a mass M3 and has temperature T2. Any questions in this? Okay. Yeah.
Sir, so the cup over here is made up of copper, right?
Copper. Yeah.
Okay, sir, got it.
Okay, so that's a calorimeter, and then the metal is added to this. Okay, now tell me what will happen now. You have put the hot metal inside water, close the lid. What should happen?
So the temperature will rise.
Of what?
Of the water.
Of the water. And
and the calorimeter.
Okay. What else will, or why will the temperature of water will rise?
So because it has more specific heat capacity.
Okay, Palash, what do you think? Why will the temperature of water will rise? Anyone else would like to answer this? The temperature of water will rise because this metal, which is hot, which is at a higher temperature, is losing heat. Do you understand that?
So water being a colder body will gain the
Will
heat
gain
from the
heat.
metal.
Exactly. Okay. So the question is, what do you think? How long will this process continue?
Until the
So
water
until
is
both the
cold.
temperatures are equal.
Both the temperatures are equal. Very good. Okay. So the point that we have to understand is when no heat is lost to the surrounding, then the heat lost by hot body is equal to heat gained by cold body. Okay, this is the principle of mixture. So, and this process will continue till both of them have attained same temperature. As you said, the temperature will be same for all, and therefore I write the final temperature to be T. Okay, and if you have to write the change in temperature, so that will be T minus T1, T minus T1, and this is T2 minus T. Okay, because T2 is higher. And the specific heat capacity that is there, for water I will write C1, for copper I'll write C2, and metal I will write C3. So this forming of table is a very good idea, because that is what will help you to solve numericals. Okay, this process which is happening, if you understand this process, it will be easier for you to solve numericals. Okay, yes, Milord.
So why do we count the copper?
Because this metal which is losing heat, this losing heat will be taken by water as well as the container, right?
Okay, sir.
Now, since you are asked this question, I can tell you that in place of copper, if you repeat this experiment in a styrofoam cup, you know, those party cups that you get, you can neglect it because it is an insulator. It doesn't take the heat for itself. If you have ever been anywhere where they have served hot tea or soup in those cups, you know, you
Yes.
hold it, you don't realize it is hot unless you like taste it. Then you see that, oh, it's quite hot. Do you follow what I'm trying to tell you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah. So that particular substance is not taking any heat, so you can neglect it, and then you can only have water and metal over there. Okay. So what is the heat lost by the hot body? That is equal to mass into specific heat capacity into change in temperature, that is T2 minus T. And what is heat gained by cold body? So heat gained by water will be M1 C1 T minus T1
So,
M2. Yeah,
so then why is the specific capacity of water, copper, and metal different?
it is dependent on the substance. That's what we saw some time back.
Oh, yes, sir, yes, sir.
Water it is 4,200, copper it is 400, and so on. Okay. Now we are performing this experiment to calculate this. So every other value you will have, you will be, when you are performing this experiment in the lab, you are recording all this. Okay, there is a thermometer that will tell you what is T1. Over here, this thermometer will tell you what is T2. Okay, that is this. And then this same thermometer will tell you what is T, the final temperature. So this will be M1 C1, okay, plus M2 C2, and here this will be T minus T1, and this will be M3 T2 minus T. Now this is how you will be able to estimate the value of specific heat capacity of a metal. Okay, have you understood this part? Any questions you have? So in an experiment, you will be, or in a numerical, you will be given some data, and we will do that in our next class. So where we will be listing down the information, putting in the equation, solving, and we will get an answer. Yes.
So C1 and C2 will be given to us.
Yeah, of course, everything else you need to know, then only you will be able to find C3.
So over here we are when we say that the heat gained by the cold body, so what is the cold body over here?
Of course, this is water and copper. Those are the cold bodies. We are adding a hot body, that is a metal which was heated in the hot water bath over here, to the calorimeter, right?
Yes, sir. So if we use a styrofoam cup over here, then we don't have to add the M2 C2 T minus T1.
Yeah, if you use a styrofoam cup, you can avoid this.
Okay, sir. Got
You can neglect this. Yeah, the styrofoam cup will itself not take much. Now, as I told you, you will not get questions based on experiments, but you will definitely get questions like, why do you use a thin sheet of copper in this experiment? Okay, so we use copper because it has low specific heat capacity. We use a thin sheet because it has less heat capacity, and it will take the temperature of the surrounding by itself consuming less energy. Okay, so this is a very important due reason why they use a thin sheet of copper. Okay, so two words, thin and copper. Second thing is, how does the calorimeter prevent loss of heat? When I say this statement is important, when heat is not lost to the surrounding. So it is, it has a lid. Okay, it has like the wooden box is there. The copper is shining. The copper vessel is shining to avoid loss due to radiation. So you should be aware how they prevent loss by conduction, convection, and radiation. Yes, Milord.
So can you repeat about the thin and copper? What you say?
Yeah, the question is, the copper vessel is made up of thin sheet of copper. Now, why it is made up of copper? Low specific heat capacity. Why it is made up of thin sheet? Okay, because thin means less mass, so less heat capacity. So it can take the temperature of the mixture by itself consuming less energy.
Okay, sir.
Right. Now, the numericals that we will be doing will be based on these formulas. Heat is equal to mc delta T, which can be written as C prime into delta T, because C prime is, is M into C. Okay, so that's the formula. And of course, this one, heat loss by hot body is equal to heat gained by cold body, method of mixtures, that is. So based on this sums we will do when we meet in our next class. Thank you.